Welcome back to Studio 701. If you're buying or selling a house or just thinking about it, it's always a good time to get some advice from our favorite realtor. It's Real Estate with Jeff Time, and today Jeff is joined by another real estate agent. Jeff, who's your guest today?
Well, Amber, I'm here with Mike Borer. He's the broker of Venture Real Estate. He's joining me today, so welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
How you doing today?
Doing really well. Really well.
So, Mike, I'm going to start off by going over our market report, and the first thing I would say is our market is absolutely bananas right now. And I found it interesting. We were talking to Nate P., the furniture guy, before the show, and he was saying that the furniture is going off the shelf like crazy too, you know. So, but anyway, let's get into the market report. We've got the single-family homes in Bismarck, Mandan, Lincoln, Burleigh, and Morton County. Currently, there are 163 active single-family homes that are for sale. And in the last 7 days, and Mike, I found some of these numbers to be quite interesting. We had 14 new single-family homes hit the market in 7 days, which is not a lot.
Nope.
We had 26 go under contract, which is a lot for January. The previous week we had 35. We had 16 close, which matched the week before. And if we look at what's going under contract and what's closing out compared to what's coming on the market, we're gonna see our absorption rate continue to go down, which I didn't think we would get below 3, and now we're sitting at a 2.46 month absorption rate. Personally, I think weather has something to do with it, although it's, you know, it's turning into a more traditional North Dakota winter. It's been really warm. I know you had mentioned people are moving into town and not many are moving out, but interest rates have got to be driving that as well, and they actually came down slightly to 2.8 on a fixed 30-year mortgage, and a 15-year went down to 2.3. It's nuts. So what are you seeing in the market? Are you kind of seeing the same numbers track, or what are your thoughts?
You know, I think the numbers tell part of the story. You know, you and I do this every day, so we kind of hear stories within the market as well, and I think that's a lot of those stories tell another part of the picture, and that's that it's a very fast-paced market.
Yeah.
You know, there's a thing called the hot sheet that you and I look at every day, and that's it seems to be a little bit disappointing for us that are looking for new properties to come on the market. We joke all the time that we look at it, you know, every 30 minutes, and it doesn't change throughout the day. So very low inventory, which is definitely creating an environment that is an advantage for sellers, and for buyers, it's very fast-paced when they are looking to buy a house.
Which brings us to our point. Now, I brought Mike here today for a couple different reasons. One is I trust Mike as much as I trust anybody in the real estate industry, and we feel very strongly about the same issues. Right? And putting our clients first. So the first thing I want to go over is representation matters, folks. And as a realtor, when under contract, owes their clients fiduciary duties, and they're listed here. So loyalty, obedience, confidentiality, disclosure, reasonable care, and accounting. It's the same thing that you would have at like a financial advisor, which not all of them are fiduciaries, but those that are. In a nutshell, Mike, describe fiduciary duties.
Yeah, so the fiduciary duties essentially legally obligates us as realtors to look out for the best interest of our clients.
Yeah.
So again, this is a buzzword in the financial advising market. Some financial advisors are fiduciary and others aren't, but there's a big movement to head that direction. Fortunately for our clients, we've been practicing fiduciary duties for decades as realtors.
Yeah, and that brings us up to some points that you and I had worked together to come up with on not only with fiduciary duties, but a couple of reasons, especially in today's market, that somebody may want to work with a realtor. And we have the bullet points here. If we could bring those up. So, as talking with Mike, we found that a lot of these bullet points were the same for a buyer and a seller. And the first one here is pricing. And you've been saying it's a fast-paced market. So what do you mean when you say it's a fast-paced market? Price is increasing, obviously. What are your thoughts on working with a realtor specifically to pricing?
You know, pricing is definitely a major challenge for us in a fast-paced market, meaning that low inventories, a lot of demand. So pricing, in theory, basic economics means that pricing will go up. You know, the challenge with pricing is that there's two different parties you need to adhere to or appeal to. And one is the buyer, the party that will actually write the contract, and the other is the appraiser. So most properties that sell in our market do have financing attached to them, and you do need to appeal to the appraiser as well as the buyer that will write the contract. So having a happy balance between pushing that value as high as you can, but still being able to pass an appraisal is a very complicated and sometimes tricky and in a fast-paced market like we're in.
And so as a listing agent, like you and I'd like to think we are, we want to get that price as high as we can for our sellers, right?
Correct.
We owe them fiduciary duties.
Yeah.
High enough to where a buyer would still want to buy it, but also not so high to where an appraiser can't justify the price.
Correct. Correct.
And the next one we have, so the power of the MLS. Folks, there are close to 500 realtors in Bismarck and Mandan. Yeah. Now, if you go and you list your house for sale by owner, which you absolutely have the right to do, the question then becomes, how many people are going to see your listing?
Correct.
If I put a listing on Zillow and Bisman online, maybe I will get a few people to take a look at it. But with the power of the MLS, Mike, 500 realtors, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, we talked about earlier about the hot sheet, and that's something that we live and die by every day. We have an app, we have a website that we check out, and this is updated by the second, really. And you know, again, we joke that we look at this thing 30 to 50 times a day. And so if you think about the process that we go through, there's 500 realtors that are checking this hot sheet by the minute, and that's a really powerful system that's been created. And the MLS is definitely a powerful thing for our market, and realtors are definitely kind of driving the ship with activity with real estate.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to keep it moving. Disclosures, folks. This is something that is far more important than I think almost anything else.
Yeah.
And that is disclosing things to buyers and sellers, making sure they disclose, and that's essentially not to end up in a courtroom.
Yeah, yeah. You know, disclosures and disclosing material fact and having the right contracts is very important. You know, we are not attorneys, but we have a team of attorneys that work for our MLS group that have created some really good disclosures, some really good contracts that are really tried and true in this market. And we feel really confident that we can help our clients navigate that process of disclosures and the right contracts.
And speaking of navigate, the last one, and this is something that has changed drastically even in the last 5 years, is to navigate a modern real estate transaction. We used to be the keeper of information as realtors, but now it's my thought that to get the purchase from contract to closing and do it seamlessly and effortlessly, that's now the new job of a realtor.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things that have changed in real estate. I think this will come up in a minute here, but you know, finding the right house for a fair price.
Let's bring that up. What do you got here?
Yeah, so this is the saying that I use with my clients often, is finding the right house at a fair price versus a fair house at the right price. And I think that what that means is essentially trying to help your clients determine what the right house is for them, and hopefully they'll live in this house for the long term, and they'll make a decision that's best for their family and best for, I guess, their finances as well. So finding the right house is kind of an objective opinion and can be subjective with clients, but we help them navigate that process.
Absolutely, and I think that's one thing that sets you apart from a lot of other people. And mine is, who represents you matters. So again, I'm not going to compare us to doctors and lawyers, but not all realtors are the same. So make sure you pick a realtor that is going to have your best interest at heart. Doesn't mean they have to have a lot of experience, but that they put you first. So again, Mike, thank you so much for joining us today, man. We really do appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you both, Mike and Jeff. This has been Real Estate with Jeff. If you have questions for Jeff of White House Realty, make sure to go to his website, bizmanproperties.com. You can reach Mike at ventureND.com. And coming up next, there's another way to help sell your home.